Let's roll. This is Countercharge, your podcast for ranks, flanks, and kings of war. Join your hosts as they delve into the world of Panithor and bring you worldwide coverage of all things Kings of War.
Welcome to Countercharge. I'm Ralph Enough. In this next installment of our 2026 U.S. Masters coverage from Minneapolis, we catch up with Mantic's own Kyle-Przelenski. Kyle was there to participate in the Best of the Rest event with an amazing-looking Xirkaali army, but we still managed to squeeze in some time for a great chat. So sit back and enjoy. All right, we're back. Best of the Rest is finished, and we're with one of the combatants, Mantic's own. I mean, they paid a Mantic employee to come out here and, battle their way, and so I'm assuming he's going to tell us he's 5-0 and super victorious, but we're with Kyle-Przelenski.
Yeah, I clearly just wipe the floor with everybody. I, play all the time.
Well, Xirkaali's broken.
And Xirkaali are broken. It's overpowered. Yeah. No, I went 3.
But you got to play Xirkaali, not Yan, right? That's the trick, I guess.
Yeah, well, I take a lot of them. I take a lot of Yan.
Yeah.
So it's a list that I literally have not played in person until the event. So I put it together fairly quickly. Everyone was doing the slow grow. I didn't have time for that. It's really hard to want to sit down and start painting something after you work on it all day.
Also for an army that you designed like however long ago.
Yeah.
Years, right? At least a year ago.
But I wanted to have the army. It's not like my first love. I'm actually really excited right now to get back to Twilightkin.
Yeah.
Because they're going to be in the next book. I know what's coming for them. So
you're but are you going to get to be the helper of the designer of the army?
They actually did bring me back in a little bit.
So that's good. So we'll know, kind of get a sense of, we know what you handled with the art direction, lore direction for Xirkaali, so we'll get the same thing with the Twilightkin.
Dave Simmons is a sculpting manager. He's the one that kind of works with the concept artist and then ultimately the sculptor Luigi to put stuff together. But what they're doing now is just sense checking with me.
Yeah.
We have these ideas, or what ideas do you have about maybe a new unit or something like that? We also took the survey into consideration.
Yeah, so the survey's closed now at this point?
Closed now, yeah.
Okay. You guys get a good response?
Yeah, it was like 461 responses, which is
pretty good.
Pretty good.
I mean, we have, 15,000? I don't remember. We did the math one time, made everybody mad, but there's over 10,000 players.
Yeah, so around the world at some point, people have touched it, it's around that number. But like what we see active is much harder to tell. Who's playing versus who played a year ago.
I mean, you can see numbers in Companion, but that doesn't really tell you a story. Oh, I made lists, but are you actually going out to events and playing? Or
correct.
Because you have a lot of garage gamers as well.
Yep.
And so those are impossible to count.
Yeah, totally. So I'm very excited about them. I have the Xirkaali base now, so if I want to continue to expand on it. And one of the cool things in the concepts of 4th edition with them doing the invasion is what you got with that initial list in the invasion book was just their first wave of forces. And so throughout the edition, we can continue to introduce new stuff for them as more stuff comes. So it was kind of a way to tie the company logic of we can't produce everything all at once into the realities of a story where more stuff would be on the way.
100%. I'm curious now, though, because you got me thinking, Xirkaali, Twilightkin, you have a Twilightkin army, but you're building a new one. I assume we're adding new stuff to it.
I'll probably do a whole new one.
Yeah. So, mastercrafted battle report between the two armies, maybe?
I know, yeah.
Right, Xirkaali, and you could feel both the armies. He's got to find somebody that's, a competent Twilightkin player, or, pick one of them. Could be in the cards sometime.
It's so important. I think that there's not enough content out there, and it's kind of dwindled. And it was such a step in the right direction to have people going out there and making content. Steve Hildrew was doing content for quite a while.
What happened to Steve? I don't know. Has been. He's like not doing death by who? I don't know.
Did you have him on the show?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
But I mean, he's he's out gallivanting around the world instead of sitting at home editing videos like he's supposed to.
Right. There's a lot of power in it, and I've talked about it quite a bit. I've even talked with Rick about doing a video-style podcast thing, putting it up just on YouTube.
You should.
Where we talk kind of internal news and things, because sometimes maybe communication gets missed if it's just in a newsletter or on a Facebook post or something. So just another source to
especially for the American scene.
Yeah.
UK, you guys are tight up there. They're tight up there, but here we're spread out so much.
Right. So it'd just be kind of a cool thing to have, the U.S. perspective of all things Mantic and doing it that way. Because it's easier to do something like that than it is to get an opponent together and film a battle report.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. Just talk, right?
Right.
It's easy. Everybody can talk.
Yeah.
And everybody has opinions,
Right.
as I've been told. So, how's the event?
I thought it was really good. So I think there were a lot of people that signed up for Best of the Rest that ended up getting.
Well, they had like 12 or
delivered.
14 players that got moved up into the big
Yeah,
dance. So,
yeah.
so that dropped the Best of the Rest to 18, which is
Right.
still respectable.
Please come over to the TO table floor.
That's me.
All right. Well, we'll pause it here. We're still with Kyle-Przelenski. Tournament obviously went pretty well. You won Best Sports.
That's been a goal of mine forever.
You won Player's Choice, too.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good haul.
Yeah, that's great.
How'd you do on the table?
I was 3-2.
So good thing you're American, right?
Well, I mean, it kind of was rough. I had a few bad matchups. I lost to the guy who won overall, or the best general. So that makes it feel a little bit better. That was a tough game, man. I felt like I did everything right in that game where I set up all the angles the right way. I had multiple flanks and fronts, and it was just my army has to be efficient because it's full of troops and low nerve stuff. So it's like whatever they touch has to pick up, and I have to play very clean, which is kind of unusual style for what I normally do. Did it, and then just flubbed every possible roll, got stuck, and then he steamrolled me. Wretch hordes everywhere, and he was withdrawing them and then charging in shock troops. And
Was that Caleb? Who was that?
Sean.
Sean from Texas.
Texas, yeah. Practicing with Dustin. It kinda,
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah, he knew what he was doing.
Yeah. Well, fortunately, wretches don't get plague pots anymore.
Yeah.
After today, right? So,
Right.
how do the rest of the games go?
It was really good. I played, was it Jacob Fetter?
Yeah, grandson. Grant Fetter's son. It's so weird to have somebody you're playing with probably 20 years ago.
Right.
And now there's a 6-year-old son
Yeah.
coming to play. It's pretty neat.
And then Derek as well. Derek was in Elf Army and Invade, and I realized very quickly how weak my army was to shooting.
Derek Mims was
Yeah.
From here.
And he came in second.
He did.
So, I lost to some pretty good players, which feels good because, I'm just not practiced anymore. We do.
We all have excuses. We don't do excuses.
Yeah.
Come on. Ronnie wouldn't accept excuses.
No, he would not.
I mean, Ronnie wouldn't play.
He was rooting for everyone to kick my
Right.
ass.
Well, because he would just let everybody else paint his army and
Yeah.
play for him if they could.
Yeah.
And I guess they sort of did that, right? Because you painted,
Right.
You're his proxy, I guess.
I am the proxy to be here.
For
yeah.
Mantic. How'd everything else go with the weekend?
It was really solid. Jason was a phenomenal host at every possible point. I'm in the middle of a, weight loss, get in shape kind of journey. And the fact that he gave me access to the school gym downstairs on Friday was phenomenal.
Pretty
because
awesome. I'm sure it's a very nice gym.
It's a very nice gym. I mean, this school is unreal. The kind of attention of detail to what they've
It
done
changed
with
my
students
perspective on Jason. I'm like, oh, if you work here, you must be, you must be have Rolls Royces and caviar, right?
It just felt so good because I had those stressors of, I'm going to, break a cycle on working out and all those kind of things.
Yeah.
I didn't have to do it.
Yeah.
And then all the food that he's been able to offer have fit great, easy.
A lot of protein.
Yeah, a lot of protein, a lot of easy things. Today it was just a whole bunch of Chipotle chicken, some black beans and rice. Like, that's perfect.
Yeah.
So it was a really solid support system that they put in place. The amount of booze that they brought in was great. We weren't.
Did you go play games last night?
I did, yeah. So I played a couple of card games, but nothing major. It's really hard for me to want to play a game after gaming all day, working in games. Like, I mostly want to hang out. And I think I served as my ears a little chewed on.
Oh, I was going to say, it's not dissimilar from when Ronnie went down to Lone Wolf
Yes.
recently, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So what was some of the feedback that you have received this weekend?
So, there's people that I think have some pretty legitimate concerns, and there's passion there. And one of the biggest areas that needs, looked at or help with, something that maybe Mantic can do to support it isn't necessarily game rules, but there are some communities and TOs and tournaments and stuff that have fallen away. I know West Coast and Mid-Atlantic are probably hurting pretty bad right now. Pacific Northwest, those guys are great people that we want to see here. We're missing a number of them have been in the past. And while it's good to see new faces and put that in place, it's a sign of the pulse of the game and where people are thinking and feeling. You can't play a game forever. Sometimes people just want to move on. Changes are always going to make things more difficult as far as when you make changes, people might not like the changes. But you can't make everybody happy. You've got the combination of the survey, you've got the combination of what we're doing, listening to people in person, both Ronnie going to Lone Wolf, me coming here. That was a big part of the reason I'm here, is for people to talk to me and tell me about what's happening. So there are some nitpicky things. How skill level of the game has kind of gone down as far as, what you can do in multi-charges and reforms that make things so much easier to get into combats, how you can't break away. I've heard a lot about yielding.
Yielding is a common complaint.
Yeah, this weekend. For the most part, though, I didn't hear no one complained about commands.
That's weird.
Yeah, there's
good.
still complaints about army balance and things like that, but I know that there is stuff in motion that's going to continue to make that better.
Right.
The Fracture book is effectively doing a very light touch, and then Arrogance is going to have a big overhaul.
Yeah.
Where there's quite a bit of stuff.
I mean, Fracture, it just came out, but
Yeah.
you guys are probably already working on it when 4th
Yeah.
was just getting launched.
Correct.
So, Arrogance book will probably be the first book where you have some new data
Yes.
from the game to really roll back into the...
Really,
roll back.
February is when that thought process started.
Yeah.
With Arrogance and what's going to go into it. So all we want as a company is to make people happy and enjoy the game and play it.
Yeah.
Because if they're playing it, then there's more people playing it around you and just having fun. So it feels like the kind of thing that we have to address and respect and make a good game experience. I've seen Matt Gilbert bringing in a ton of more people to provide perspective on. One of the things that was super impressive to me is Steve Hildrew told me that Matt invited him to a game in his house. Like Matt was saying, come
Matt,
play.
where does he live? Does he live up there? He used to be in London, right? I think, right?
Yeah, he's in the Nottingham area.
Okay,
I don't know exactly where he's at, but he's close enough.
Man, he must
commute
inviting Steve to your house. That's a huge.
It shows that he's actually playing the game and trying to understand.
Yeah.
Where things could grow or improve or otherwise. So that's great because there's a lot of people at Mantic that don't necessarily play. I think Alex, our new marketing guy, he's a player.
He's played, when he was in Germany and stuff. Yeah.
I'm a player, but
I mean,
your
new Kickstarter guy doesn't, because he comes from the board game industry, and I'm assuming he's based in the U.S.
No.
Oh, he's based
in the UK as well.
Okay.
Yeah, Ross.
Was he always in the UK?
I believe he was.
When he was working for like North Star Games, he was in the UK. That's okay, interesting.
I know he was in the U.S. at one point, but he's moved back, and I don't know how long he's been back in the UK.
Is he English?
Yes.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
All right.
So, I mean,
that's another thing, though, to give some credit. Ronnie is starting to listen. Hire the right people for the job.
Yes.
Right, and then he's gotten some great talent in here recently.
Yeah, Ross is very impressive. He's Kickstarter manager. He sees things in a way that's really great. He gives good feedback. Alex has done a good job. Alex, I feel like, is a little overwhelmed because he's coming from, a company where he had a lot of support around him.
Now he's got 10 hats.
The cheese that stands alone. Yeah. So he's still getting his feet. He was moving. He was so busy and had so much going on. So now I'm excited to see where he goes with things. The Kings of War Slow Grow is like a light touch. It was just kind of get something started.
Yeah.
So there's interesting steps that are happening in different ways, and we're looking at quite a bit of adjustments and new growth and new people and how it changes the company.
Yeah, I mean, when you go through an edition change, and we've all been through many, 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 the hope is that you will lose some people just because it's an edition change. That's
Sure.
the nature of the beast, for all the things you stated. But what you hope is you lose less than what you gain.
Yeah.
And I think the accessibility, where some people might go, oh, you watered the game down. Well, it's a different game, right?
Yeah.
In some ways.
I heard several Best of the Rest players say that they appreciate some of those changes because it's made it easier for them.
What's interesting is that Kyle Poole has no shortage of opinions.
Yeah, sure.
But one of his opinions that I was like, oh, okay, really? He said, oh, I have made the game more accessible. It's easier to learn and get into the game. But at the top end, in some ways, you've made it more hard because in the past, it would be harder to take advantage of your mistakes.
Yeah.
Now, because the way the movement works, it's like if you make the mistake, you're punished. And so what his theory is that he's having to spend more time checking flanks, checking distances.
Sure.
Because if he opens something up, it's lethal. The game is more lethal.
The double pivots are very interesting to me on an advance. I feel like the flexibility that you get with that, it changes things in a way that feels good to me. Especially with the list that I was playing with Xirkaali and the troops. Like, my whole thing was just to try to get those troops into flanks because that increases their efficiency, obviously. But 12 attacks going to 24 on 3s with Crush 1 and maybe a Thunder's Charge command order or the Brutal command order, like, they really is efficient. Mm-hmm. So I was just trying to find ways to be efficient about it, and it was all based around 4th edition changes that made it work. And for the most part, the times that I got to play it that way, it was great. But it felt like games were swingier. It felt like, at least everything that I was going through, things were more devastating than they've been in the past. I don't know where that's coming
mechanically,
from.
the game.
Yeah. So it felt like things were dying easier and it was more one-sided. Even with the nerve changes, you would think that stuff would maybe stick around a little bit longer. And I also might feel this way just because I had regiments and troops of everything.
And those die easier than a horde.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
And defense 3 and 4, largely.
And so lower defense, yeah.
Yeah. So it's one perspective, but the thing that I see is that there's still so much variety around these rooms. I've heard complaints about Commandants.
Well, for sure. That's
Blizzard touched me in bad ways.
Well, the problem is it's not one of those things, but when you add them all up, I got the Blood Boil Wizard, I got the Blizzard, I got the 4 Commandants, whatever.
Yeah.
Or I got the 4 Trombones and those things.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, that's a bad touch.
Yeah. I'm not too concerned about that because that's all easy stuff to change.
Yeah.
It's all easy stuff to understand. I remember at the start of 3rd, there was a lot of complaints.
Yep.
I remember War Engines that time and Goblins, it was a scary time. So
And it's all Keith Randall's fault, I think, typically. Because I think he was the first one to be like, I'm going to take 9 War Engines with Kingdoms of Men, and I'm going to show you what I can do.
Yeah.
Maybe I have the editions wrong. Maybe that was 2nd edition.
No, I'm pretty sure it was 3rd because I remember having a conversation with Ronnie about War Engines right at the start of 3rd. But you lose that, the memory fades pretty quick once things get right.
Yeah.
And if they're moving in the right direction, then it's way less of a concern. And that's the whole goal, is to just feel like everybody can say, all right, the wrinkles are ironed out. Let's just have some fun now. And let's start building new armies or having fun with what we have. And enjoying the game as it is. Most
of the feedback is the rules are fine. There's quibbles about certain things. It's more either the commands or the army balance, right? Or the fact you've got some armies that you don't only have 2 commands and they will get more later. I mean, and those are things you're going to fix. Like you're going to add more books.
Arrogance is going to have a lot more commands for everybody.
That's what I figured, right?
Yeah.
So Fracture's a good example, but if you times that by 2, and then it's like much more impactful.
Yeah. And we're looking at ways of altering list structure. And to be perfectly honest, is inside
inside baseball.
Knows. We know that the list building process has caused problems for some people. Some people like it, and it all kind of comes down to your core, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's what core armies that have good core can be more dominant, and how you move units into core should be an interesting and engaging process. People love building lists. They love feeling a variety, and I think where the state of the lists were at the start of 4th, it was you saw a couple of builds maybe. Some armies only had 1. It was like, this is what I could do, and that feels bad. You don't want that.
Yeah.
You want
to unlock people's collections, right?
And imagination.
Chet Dudek had a point earlier. I was like, that's an astute observation. We as a community should not be in the mindset of like, well, I painted this unit and it's good for perpetuity, right? If you painted it 7 years ago, you've got your mileage out of it. Maybe it's time to think about something new, right? I think you're doing that with, certainly the new armies, but, certainly the new units and stuff. So,
yeah. I think the goal is to look at champions quite a bit, the champion level heroes, and allow them to maybe move 1 unit type into core, like a limitation of 1 unit can become core, because there's quite a bit of champions, and that alone could just allow a little bit more flexibility.
And it reduces the tax, right? Because the champion's not as expensive as a warlord.
Correct.
I think the other thing that some people say is not necessarily when you move it to core, but ones that move to special, right, from support. It's like it would almost be better if it didn't say you have to use the change. So Sam or Chris said, or one of the Alohi give Alohi into special.
Yeah.
But maybe you don't want them to be in special. You'd rather have them in support.
Correct.
So maybe it's an optional thing.
Right. Making it optional, I think, would make a lot of people happy because you can kind of screw yourself.
Correct. You want the Alohi, but you're not really taking it for the other unintended perk that you're getting anyway.
Yeah. So it's tough. I've looked at that with Impalers, and maybe they could move to specialists, but then I know a lot of people want them in core. The Fracture book moved Butchers to core for Twilight Kin, but only a limit of 2.
Yeah. So we have some core that have limits, right?
Yeah. So is that a viable option? I think that's what they're looking at now. And I'm not actively working on the rules at all anymore, and it's kind of nice.
You can just give honest feedback.
Yes, yeah, which is what I try to do. Every few months, I get asked for a document of tell us what people are saying, and that's what I do. I just try to be a voice for the players because I'm connected to both. I'm connected.
What's
to
your
the company
favorite change in the fraction book that you didn't have anything to do with?
I really like the abyssal spell. The
They have two,
dark
right?
pit.
Okay, the one that gives you the dread
Yeah.
bubble, the dread / cloak of death bubble.
That just feels interesting.
Yeah.
It's a little scary. Like I read it the first time and I was like, "Oh, come on!" But like it was creative in a way that I feel like was thematic to the army, and it sort of evolves King's War a little bit. So maybe if more stuff like that could creep in, it could be interesting. Some people might hate it. I have no idea.
I mean, I think the Force of the Abyss army is probably the most creative of the 4 that are in there.
Yeah,
Because it's an army now that it's there to not let you do what you want to do, whether it's just stop commands.
Right.
Or, oh, you want to charge these lower abyssals? Well, great, you can use our stats against us.
yeah,
Right?
that's cool.
It's
That's
just
so
like
cool.
it's just. I mean, we've already had that with the doppelgangers, but now it's
Right.
the inverse.
Now it's
like
reversed.
it's
Yeah.
like, oh, this is next level stuff. No, you're gonna do that. No, we're gonna drag you into the abyss, and you're gonna suffer.
And that's cool. So, Josh LaFoon, it's been nice to catch up with him because he's one of the
He seems to be very active.
Yeah.
with the play testers and stuff.
he's one of the testers. He's very active communicating with me, which is nice.
Yeah.
He and I have started working on Twilight Kin stuff, and a guy named Nico, I think, is his name.
I'm assuming that's from Europe, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know where he's from. He literally just got added to a
right.
channel like
That's
last
awesome.
week when I was
That's good
coming
though that
here,
you're
so
changing. You're adding people,
Yeah.
adding new voices,
There should
adding
be
new
new
scenes.
voices. Yeah. And then I also got to talk to Matt Carmack quite a bit, who was obviously heavily involved
Yeah,
in the
for
RC,
sure.
and I always talked to him in the past. So we had a pretty good relationship of what the needs of the game were, and Matt was always very, very open about what needed to happen and willing to help make it happen. So
Absolutely.
hearing from him was good. Hearing from Adam Ballard's really good. These guys are expert level players that you want to hear their feedback.
Well, Matt's but Adam's a has-been now. I don't.
Oh, I know,
I think
yeah.
he's got like 3 draws.
only 2 masters. What do you do?
Yeah. Well, I guess he figures like I'll worry about it when someone else gets their second master.
Yeah.
And that might be a while.
Yeah. I mean, I'm surprised enough that he's got 2. That's impressive. So he's very good at the game. I'm interested to see who's going to win this one because it hasn't felt like it was a clean runaway at any point. I know I looked early this morning and there were a lot of draws. There were a lot of tie scores. So
Well, in round 4, the top 2 tables drew, and so the person that won on table 3 jumped,
okay.
and then that player, Sean Troy, then won in game 5. So he's got like a 4-point lead, I think, going into the last round. He's got a racking list, so
Yeah.
you know what all that calls. It's maybe not as filthy as some of the other ones, but it's still got a lot of the same elements. And he's playing Keith Monarch out of Florida,
Okay.
who's got salamanders and has all those things you just described.
Yeah.
And so at the end of the day, Sean's a super nice guy, but if he comes in here and he looks irritated, I'll understand why. I'm like, okay, yeah, the 4 Commandants, the
Yeah.
wizards and all that.
Yeah.
So, but if he doesn't, he's a good player, and I think he if anybody can figure it out, he can figure it out. And it'd be interesting to have a local player, a home region person win a master in their home region. Surely that's probably happened with the South because they won so many freaking masters.
Sure.
But I don't know. It'd be interesting. Yeah, but I find it interesting too, though. Like I said, I think I mentioned Undead is up there. Ogres are up there. It's like, I don't think it's a runaway. I mean, there are 2 Goblin players on table 2, but some of the Boogeyman armies are here, but there's a lot of them here, and that might, having 2 Goblin armies, I don't know that means is stating that Goblins are broken. I just think that there's a ton of Goblin armies here, right? Like, it's just the nature of the beast, maybe.
And it largely still is the players that we've known are very good at the game.
It's
performing.
the player wins the game, not the list.
It's a player-driven thing, which is the ultimate goal. You want the player to have the power to dictate the outcome of the game, whether that was how they pilot the list or the creative ways that they've built the list. That can be replicated, but then maybe somebody else tries to play it and it doesn't make any sense to them and they can't do well with it. So Kings of War should be that open sandbox when you go to make a new list of, I can match my play style to the models that are available to me. And I think part of the joy that was taken away with the battalion structure was that maybe you can't get to where
you don't have quite the freedom.
Yeah.
But the flip side is that sometimes we can't have nice things.
Sure.
Here in the U.S., we don't always have the best self-restraint.
Yes.
Right? So maybe you have to have limits on certain things, and the battalion structure has some of that. You'll find new opportunities to creatively, unlock the creativity of the player, and every new book is, Fracture is way better than Invasion. Arrogance will probably be way better than Fracture,
right?
Because every time that you're putting a new one out, you'll have more and more feedback to base on.
Yeah.
I mean, Invasion's tough because you didn't have any data. It's just like, here's our guess.
Yep.
You don't have any data, and so and it's good that the books will continue to unlock other stuff, other updates.
And if you're an Invasion army, don't feel like you're done.
Yeah.
Which, because that's a concern. If you're one of the early armies and then everyone else keeps getting cooler and cooler stuff, you're left in the dust. So that's not going to be the case. Those books are intended to be a narrative point to give a focus to the factions that are in them.
Yeah.
That's it. As far as the rules go, it's a chance for us to match releases with new, the armies that are in them. So it follows the same structure the Mantic's always done with, every couple of months, here's these units, here's this army. Might be only twice a year, but still, it's a way to get everybody something at a pace.
Yeah, it's interesting because I think 4th edition, it's a lot different than 3rd when you compare it to 3rd compared to 2nd, right? I think the other thing is, in going from 2nd to 3rd, everybody had like a generic list, if you will, right out of the jump. So I think that's something that people are getting accustomed to.
Yeah. That
there's 4 armies in this book, and then there's the rest of them. But you take a look at Forces of Nature. That list was pretty good before.
Yeah, it was very good.
I don't know. Maybe it wasn't as flavorful, and I think they've done a great job with the Forces of Nature list that's in the Fracture book. I think the pace of change, Chat brought up a point. He's like, we're a niche within a niche within a niche.
Yes.
And we're an older demographic.
Yes.
And so, old people don't like change.
Yeah.
Right? So, but you have to move the game forward so that it's not solved and so that there's interesting decisions to make, more modeling opportunities, more creativity in army construction. And so it's like you have to do it, but then the negative is that not everybody's going to like the changes.
Yeah. The best thing about all of this for me was getting to play.
Yeah.
Getting in front of people. I played 5 games with people that I've never played before.
Yeah. Was there any veteran players that you played, or were they all?
Hari,
okay,
yeah.
Hari Capra.
Yeah. So, and veteran, these guys, some of them, they were telling me they've been playing since 2nd edition. Maybe they're they dip in and out, occasionally. They have an army, they might play every once in a while. But they're back because of 4th edition. They were checking it out and seeing it. That's
the whole point of a new edition is to get people that new players to check it out for the first time, and players that have fallen away to come back.
And that is what it does for you from a customer base, purely thinking that way, and for players. And
you got to make money or you don't. Yeah. There's no point, right?
Yeah, correct. So, to me, the exciting part is that I now want to try to get to more events and play and have fun with it. Because I enjoyed myself enough at this event that it sparked something in me to want to go home. And
were you surprised by the experience, or you think you're going to come in here and there's going to be like, man, this guy's got 4 Commandants?
I didn't expect that in Best of the Rest. I think
last year you would have been disappointed then.
Yeah?
Because last year it was rough.
Okay.
Well, a lot of Texas guys in the Best of the Rest.
Sure.
Yeah, and you know how Texas is.
Oh, yeah. They're brutal.
They're brutal.
Killers. So, I want to join in and be a player again. And I'm not doing the rules development stuff.
It makes your ability to take information back from the community, because it's not your job. So you don't have to take it with the intent of, I've got to transform this. You can just give them the data and then let people that don't have any emotional attachment to it to figure out the best answer.
When you have emotional attachment to it, it's hard, man.
Oh, yeah.
Your
baby's not ugly. It's like, oh, no, she is, or whatever, right?
Yeah.
That's the way it works.
Yeah. It's hard. So now I just want to have fun with it. And when I'm having fun with it, I feel like it's easier for me to sell it too. It's easier for me to be excited about it and talk about it in a way that's positive. Because you go back to 2019, somewhere right when 3rd edition dropped, and King's War sales were very good because we had an enthusiastic community. We had me enthusiastic about the game, trying to get stores to bring it in. Those are important things. It's not.
Now you just got to get your distribution thing. Get a distribution thing over here in the United States. So it's not hard to get.
We are working on that actively. We're actually trying to get what we're calling the retail range, the stuff that goes to stores, shipped over in a huge container and send it to Miniature Market, which is our 3PL. It's a third party that does the dispatch for us. They've been doing it for Halo, and they've been doing it very well.
Now they're separate from Asmodee.
Yes.
Which helps, right?
Yep.
For a while there, they were part of the Asmodee thing, and it's weird. But
and I got to meet with Asmodee while I was here, which was fantastic. They're based locally.
Asmodee has some of the things like Hellboy, right? The Hellboy game, is that still distributed through Asmodee?
They do still have some. They have done extremely well with Halo. Their team loves it. They've done trainings with us in person. They do, I get on a call with their whole sales team and teach them how to sell the game or what's, selling points of the game. And they get excited about it, which feels very good because that kind of outreach we can't do on our own.
They have a big reach.
They have a big reach.
Yeah.
So, we're in a very good standing with Alliance/Universal, Yeah,
that's a whole thing.
Yeah, that's a whole thing.
That's a whole thing.
But they are the ones that I think could do very well with Kings of War and ACD, as they do some good stuff. So getting them the products is the key part. And once it's stored here in the U.S. and it can ship to them immediately, I
think that's the big thing is the delay, right?
Yes.
You order the part, you order the book, and then we're not sure where it's coming from or how long it's going to take, and people get patience, right?
Yeah.
We don't have a lot of patience.
We load up that retail range, put it into a U.S. storage, and then all of a sudden they've got quick access to it that they can order it for a store and get it in 2 days. And that makes a huge difference. It's not 2 weeks.
You should make a trip down to Miniature Market.
Yeah. No, I would love to. It's not that far. It's only a couple hours.
Yeah. Well, or 8 hours, but from here.
Is it?
But you could drive down there. St. Louis, come on. Yeah, it's just get in the car. But you're leaving when?
Tomorrow morning. So flight's
early.
At 7:30. So I've got the shuttle booked for 5:30.
Are you taking the shuttle from the
from the hotel to the airport?
That's pretty good. That's a nice setup that they've got where the shuttle is running back and forth.
That's what I'm saying, man.
It saves you some money.
Jason took care of a lot of stuff to make this easy. I'm looking at him right now.
He set a high bar. He set a high bar for the next year's Masters. Hopefully he's able to, hopefully the next year we keep building on it.
I think this was great because it was just ease of experience. It reminds me a lot of what Mark did at DFW Airport and that hotel. That was
during COVID when they ran it in Texas for the second time. Yeah, it was.
The casino was impressive in New York. That was cool.
Yeah, Reno too was fun.
I didn't come to Reno last year, but
should have. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, we always did Gamma at that hotel.
Okay,
so I've been there so many times, but I didn't get out to Reno this last year. So I try to make Masters kind of a premier thing. I've got a budget for Kings of War travel that's part of Mantic, and this year I chose to do Masters.
That's a good choice.
Yeah. I'd love to get to the
other events. Yeah, Clash of Kings.
Clash and Steve's event in the UK.
For sure. I mean, it's ridiculously big.
I've done it a couple times.
I'm jealous of their, the density of their player base.
Yeah.
Right. It's just like, here it's like, we have the players. We just. It's hard to get everybody. I mean, Adepticon tries, but Adepticon's expensive. Adepticon's a time commitment. It's, so it's nice. This one, you typically never run 100 players, and it's nice to have. But it'd be nice to have more events of that size. We're still in the infancy of 4th edition. I think our best days are ahead of us, right? And I think there's opportunities here.
Yeah, I think that you could probably get some people to do events. You and I have talked in the past very lightly on it would be great if maybe there were events that weren't necessarily...
We've talked a lot about narrative events.
Yeah.
We got to do it.
Qualifiers or...
100%.
Yeah. Just to have fun.
We still need to do that. I've been talking about that for a long time.
Right.
And I think there's a market for an event which is... there's other companies that do it where you just show up and you have a fun time.
Yeah.
It's not about winning and losing. It's more about the social experience that you have.
This summer, Mantic is going to do a campaign again.
Yeah.
So it's been a while since we've done one of those. And a narrative-focused campaign. So I don't know the details, honestly, of what is going to be around that. I'm sure there's going to be a website set up similar to show campaign progress, upload your games, etc. But it's just an exciting time to have the new Fracture book and then ahead of Arrogance, what the game looks like over the course of those next few months. So,
short of Twilight Kin, what else are you most excited for coming up in the next whatever duration you want to think about.
I mean, I think everyone's going to be very happy after Arrogance. That's.
I mean, my expectation is Ronnie set a high bar.
Yeah.
I think they're going to deliver.
Yeah.
Wholesale changes that correct a lot of the little nitpicky. It's nitpicky, but it's nitpicky to you, then it's important, right?
Yeah.
I say nitpicky. It's not a negative thing. It's a smaller impact. Maybe the impact is not quite as large, but it's important to you.
Yes.
And so if you can get a lot of that stuff cleaned up, and that's always in every edition. There's that issue, right?
Yeah.
Like, oh, I didn't realize I didn't. You can't play test everything.
Right.
Right? There's a reason why GW launches whatever they launch, and within a couple weeks there's an FAQ.
Yeah.
It's the same situation.
Yes. But it's just that energy around Clash of Kings, the way that was,
Yeah.
the book, not the event, but
Yeah.
like the energy around what that was just so, like the whole community would feel.
Oh, it's coming. We're
Oh,
going to
the
get
book's coming.
What's the new
Everything's gonna change.
units?
Yeah.
What new scenarios are you going to deliver?
Yeah. And that's what this book is.
I think one of the other things that I've heard a couple times this weekend is, and I never thought about it, but it's probably time to look at some of the scenarios, because the 4th edition is fundamentally the same game.
Yes.
But there's significant differences, and I don't know that some of the scenarios work as intended like they did in 3
Yeah.
or 3.5. So, and you guys are added some more in Fracture, so maybe there'll be opportunities to look at that.
And I've seen that they are doing work on the scenarios. I don't know what that is, but I've seen that they're.
Well, what's interesting is some of the. We had more draws in this event than I think I've ever seen, and some of them are specific to classic scenarios. We always have draws with like Control.
Sure.
Then there's Compass Points and some of the other ones. So
Compass Points was great. This is our first time playing.
You've never played it?
No, yeah.
Okay. Did you have to look it up and everything? And
I
it was-
did.
Okay.
Yeah. But it was fun.
Those
It
are
was-
fun the first time you play it. You're like,
Uh-huh.
oh man, that's neat. I get to learn a new thing and on the fly figure out a strategy to win the game.
Oh man, the Witch Hunter with the Orb of Towering Presence. Unit Strength 3 on the Warlord.
That's pretty sweet.
Won me a game. Yeah.
That's pretty sweet. I think Commandants with Unit Strength 2 is another refrain. They're like,
I know.
Because
Yeah.
I actually pulled out some stuff today. Because, people don't expect it. A lot
Sure.
of it, though, for me is, I don't know other players, but I know for me, some of the things I have a hard time getting my head around is that I'm so ingrained in 3.5. It's like, you have to put that to the side. But how do you get it out of your head?
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, no, it's not like that anymore. So that's why I'm jealous of the newer players that are coming in. They don't have any baggage.
They don't.
They're just coming in, and that's why, like, someone like Sam Kula from the Columbus area, who's, on the third table, I think.
Shout out to Kyle Poole and what he's doing in
he's,
Columbus.
He's boisterous and large, but man, he's got an aura of something. He's doing the right thing. Whatever
he's
it is,
doing what I wish.
Whatever's in the water in Columbus, it's working. He's got me thinking about going down to the Ohio GT in Columbus. This year.
Replicate that energy 12 times around the country and we'll be booming.
Exactly. The problem is too is we're getting older.
Yeah,
as
it's
a
harder.
community. I think so. We need to find some new blood as well.
Yes.
And it's a lot of work putting on events, and so
It is a lot of work.
It's that's always hard to get people to like, hey,
It is.
People want to see that their effort is worthwhile.
Yeah.
And I know sometimes it's like, oh, I only had wherever you're at. It could be a tournament of 8 players, and
Yeah.
they get discouraged. I'm like, 8's better than 4, right? And 4 is better than 0.
And I totally get. I've got a local store that is 10 minutes from my house.
And this is in Ohio,
yeah, it's in Ohio.
right near the Pennsylvania border, right?
Absolutely on the edge.
Okay.
I can see the river.
Yeah.
And this store is a relatively new store. I saw that they opened. I got them a Kings of War order, and it was like small $300
Yeah.
order, very very basic kind of thing. And I got them some Halo, but I still haven't been down there
Oh my.
to encourage.
Yeah,
it and
service that
grow it.
customer, man.
I know, but like it just shows you how hard it is for anyone.
It's your job. And
It's my
hard.
job, but I clock out and then I go down to the store and do more of it. That's hard.
Yeah.
But it's important.
Yeah, and Alex has been a big boon, though. I think things like organized play kits and stuff, they can't be far off. I think all the stuff that Alex is a very impressive addition to the team.
Very well spoken, really
Is
intelligent.
that because
guy.
he's English?
I think so.
Yeah, he's a little posh too.
Oh yes.
Yeah, I think yeah. It's like, I don't know where from in England he is, but yeah, I've had nothing but delightful conversations with
Yeah.
Alex, and I'm really happy. I'm just glad that historically, let's be honest, Ronnie hires his friends, and they find jobs for his friends, and nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
But at this point, you're a big company, and you got to get you really need to have the right talent for each job. And
Absolutely.
does that mean Ronnie is developing as a manager, as a director? I mean,
He is a little bit, actually.
Yeah.
So, we've got some.
dare I say he's getting coaching or something? I mean, can you imagine?
I think he is.
Can you imagine?
Yeah.
This is delightful news, right? I mean, you can see it though. I mean, I think you can see it.
It's important. We're at this breaking point as a company because he always says double, and what he's not talking about in and out. He's talking about. So he's talking about basically taking our revenue, doubling it, and the next year doubling that.
Right.
And that's
It's hard to sustain.
Hard to sustain. But Halo obviously takes
It makes it makes it possible.
Yeah. And we've just extended the license.
Yep.
So
and you've expanded the range of units.
Oh yeah.
And at some point, who knows? At some point, it will become like a full scale tabletop miniature game outside of the Dead Zone arena.
That would be cool.
Yeah. Right. I'm just saying, like that's the obvious thing, right?
Yes.
You did it with Walking Dead, where you had basically a board game, and then that moved to a table, player versus player thing. So that's the the next logical step. And I think once that happens, I mean, Halo gives you access to players, and he said that before. Like the hardest thing is to get somebody to play their first Mantic game. But Halo is a very good IP.
Yeah.
If it's done well, which it has been so far, people are salivating over it. I mean, you see the lines at the conventions and stuff, and the attendance at Adepticon, events for Halo. It's just,
people have a very personal experience with it. We don't see tournaments and events around Halo, which I think we expected.
Yeah.
Even stores it flies off the shelves, but then
there's some places probably do. I know that the Richardsons out of St. Louis, they play out of Miniature Market. I know that they have pretty good luck, and I know maybe even Kyle. I mean, we sang his praises, but it's not just Kings of War. They're playing all kinds of stuff.
Oh yeah, there. Epic Warpath.
He's just a nut, though. I mean, he likes all games.
Dude loves to play games. That's the heart of
Too bad he's not very good at it at Kings of War, but.
Oh, come on.
It's funny because I think he's having a rough weekend, but, I mean, I have yet to beat him, so someday.
Yeah. I think I beat him once, ever. So, and that was years ago at this point.
You need to do it on a stream sometime so you have it for posterity.
I know.
That would be the dream.
And he'll come down and film with me anytime.
Well, yeah, because Columbus isn't terribly far.
2 hours?
Oh, geez.
Yeah. So easy.
Yeah.
Similar to
You can provide both armies, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, make it easy on him. You just show up, roll some dice. Oh, it's been a long journey. Now, refresh our memory. How long have you been playing Kings of War?
11 years.
So from 2015?
Yeah.
With everybody else?
Yeah.
The Sundering, yeah.
Yep.
And how long have you been with Mantic? Because I know you were there in San Antonio. You were working it out.
8 years.
Was 8 years. Okay. It's been a long time. Yeah. It's a long time. It's funny to think about the journey because we've been at it for, the beta came out in 2010. That's like 16 years ago.
Yeah. It doesn't feel like it all the time.
It doesn't feel like it. But then you look up and you see, Keith Randall is all gray now. It's like, it's like, and you see these people that are, they're all pushing 50. Well, not all. There's several people pushing 50, and you're like, we've been at this for a long time. And I think that's a nice positive thing about the community is that we have lost some people, we've gained some new people, but there's a core that's still here. And some aren't actively playing, but they're still there.
Yeah.
And then we've got out of retirement, Mike Austin's come out and playing again. So, they circle back in, and that's why 4th edition's been important.
These are just groups of players that are either getting together as a club or at a store, and they do well for themselves at their local events, and then they end up coming here to represent their region and play everybody else that does the same.
Exactly.
It's not a very hard formula to have a good community around it. You just got to consistently...
Consistent's the word.
Yeah, consistently go at it. And, models on tables sell games.
Especially painted models.
Painted models.
It doesn't even have to be painted well, just painted.
I can remember every time that we've done an event that was in a non-traditional place. Imagine we're in this school, but something was also going on for the school.
Yeah.
How many people would come in here and look around and be in awe?
Yep.
Now, I don't know that everyone would say, not anyone really, would say, I'm going to get into this.
No, but they're like, this is neat.
This is neat. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And you don't see a lot of games that look like Kings of War on the table. So we go to conventions, you demo a game, you sell stuff. It's just every time. You show it, it sells. You show it, it sells. And that's just, I think, what we have to do as a community a little bit, as players, is if we want more people, new faces, it's
Well, if you want, we have. It's what is I don't know. There's probably a turn of phrase, but we have to build it. If we want it, we've got to be part of the solution.
Yeah.
And building the next generation, because that's like it's funny too. Grant Feder been around a long time. We've been playing a long time, and his son is playing now.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, that's
Tyler.
We need more. Tyler Shulkin.
Yeah.
Right. Jeff Shulkin's son. It's like we need more of that, and it's it's hard,
Yeah.
right? It's hard to because I think nowadays, I already said we are like an older demographic, but the thing is, kids have like so much other things to occupy their time
Yes.
with, and most of it's digital or
pretty instant gratification.
Instagram, and so now you're telling them that, hey, not only do you have to paint models, you have to paint a lot of models. It's hard, and that's why things like Champions
Yeah.
are important. But it's don't get discouraged, just keep doing it. We got to keep. We got to keep rolling.
Aaron and Henry, they was champions, and
100%.
they're up to
and we
here.
were, and now they're here. And then
Yeah.
I think Henry's got a goal to make the Masters team. He's got he's gonna have to,
But you can see it in his eyes, like
Yeah.
he wants to do it.
Yeah, and
it's cool.
and the boy's playing EOD. Everybody
Right.
here says EOD is terrible, but
Right.
he's rocking it.
Yeah.
So it's exciting times. Well, I appreciate you coming on, chatting. Yeah.
Thanks. It was really good to see you. I'm glad.
Yeah, I'm
you
glad.
could make it out.
I'm glad you made it out too. Get a chance to talk to some of the community.
Thank you, Rob. I'm happy I made Jesse proud.
Yes, you did.
Got my
Sports. Yeah, for sure.
That's my whole goal in Kings of War has always been to win one of every possible trophy. I won my first Player's Choice at your tournament a couple years ago.
Kings of Memphis.
Yeah.
Which we didn't hold this year, but we will hold it again next year. Sometimes you got to take a break.
And I got sports, so I'm happy.
Exactly. Thanks. Safe travels.
Thanks, man.
Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time on Countercharge. Please let us know what you thought of the show by emailing us at counterchargepodcast@gmail.com, on Twitter at countercharge15, or by commenting on the Countercharge Kings of War podcast Facebook group. If you enjoy the show, you can help others find out about it by leaving positive reviews on iTunes. Until next time, keep countercharging. Music is a composition of Kevin MacLeod and is licensed under Creative Commons.